Good evening, North East. Welcome along to a brand new show where we'll be taking a look at the week's most talked about stories.
That's right, Will. It'll also be the chance for us to meet and introduce to you some of the local and inspirational people that make our region so great.
We're very excited to be bringing you Good Evening North East. So that's a bit about the show, but what have we got for you today?
Well, it's the dreaded B word. This week, a legion of Brexiteers took part in the Leave Means Leave campaign. But what does Brexit mean for us in the North East?
And Durham Tees Valley Airport has announced its new operator, the Stobart Group. But what does it actually mean for Teesside?
And we meet the North East artist who's using washed up plastics to create her masterpieces.
But before all of that, it's meant to be just under a week until Britain leaves the EU, and protesters have been taking part in a Leave Means Leave campaign organised by former UKIP leader Nigel Farage. People from right across the UK have been embarking on the 14-day, 270-mile walk. The first leg of the March to Leave campaign began here in Sunderland and has been working its way down south to end in Parliament Square on the 29th of March, the date originally set for Britain leaving the EU.
Well, I managed to catch up with the Brexiteers in Stainby in North Yorkshire on Monday.
A legion of Brexiteers have descended on Teesside for the March to Leave protest. Organised by former UKIP leader Nigel Farage, hundreds have turned out for the third day of the 14-day, 270-mile march. It's due to end in Parliament Square in Westminster on the 29th of March, the day Britain is due to leave the EU. Over the weekend, the first leg of the March to Leave was in Sunderland and Nigel Farage led the way. Hundreds then made their way to Hartlepool before arriving in Middlesbrough on Sunday. Now they've arrived in Stainby in North Yorkshire.
It's an opportunity for 100 core marchers to represent the people who voted to leave and represent those people who've now decided that leave is the best option, which is the majority of the country, and to also allow people around the country who may not be able to afford to go to London.
Nigel Farage braced the wind and the rain for the first leg of the Leave Means Leave campaign, but hasn't been present since.
He did say that he wouldn't be here every day. He's a very busy politician. He's probably over in Europe now speaking with the Italian PM or the Hungarian PM, fighting for our country. He's going to be here as much as he possibly can.
Pro-Brexit campaigners aren't the only ones that turned out.
What do you make of this campaign? Leave Means Leave. Do you believe in this or...?
No, I'm resolutely opposed to this. I think that Farage and initially Cameron in the first place have broken the country by the division and the hate that's spewed out over what should have been a civilised discussion years ago about what we do about our relationship with Europe.
Well, the next part of the journey for these Brexiteers will be from Aldfield to Wetherby in West Yorkshire.
Well, now in the studio who joins us now is Jack Simpson from the North East England Chamber of Commerce, who can speak to us now on the dreaded B word. Jack, it's great to see you.
Hi.
How are you? No,
well, I'm very well, thank you. Yes, thank you for having me.
Good. Well, listen now, Theresa May vows to delay Brexit beyond June. Is this a good idea for the North East?
Well, I think it is a good idea. We're 9 days away from Brexit and there are still many unanswered questions about what the future relationship with the European Union looks like, and at the minute one calls for a dreaded no deal. Therefore, extending the Brexit process, the Brexit negotiations, it gives Parliament and government more time to engage with business and their key concerns, and also to deliver a deal that works and protects the North East economy.
I was going to say, what ultimately do you think? What do you think the impact's going to be for the North East? You know, we're talking independent businesses, small businesses, big businesses as well. What do you think it's going to really look like when it does come round, if it happens on the 29th or if it's delayed?
Well, if it happens on the 29th, it'll be the no deal scenario, and we'll end up on what we call the WTO terms, or World Trade Organisation terms. This will be a very hard Brexit, a disorderly exit from the European Union. Tariffs will be put on place. We'll have to come up with new funding structures for business, and some economic forecasts predict that we'll be down 16% in GDP over the long term, about 15 years. So members have been quite categorical that must be avoided at all costs, and we've been fairly consistent in our messaging to members of the Parliament that should be avoided.
Obviously, it's going to be a big process as well. Will we see a delay again, or once this decision's made and once it all happens, will it then be left to us as a region? Right now, we can start getting things in place and sorting things out, or will it then be, delays and delays again?
I mean, there's still a lot to be played for. Theresa May's obviously married to her idea of how Brexit should look like, and she's tried to push it through twice and failed. We as a chamber have been saying we need to have a radical rethink about how the Brexit deal looks. What's the future trading relationship going to look like? This agreement only takes us out of the EU, so it's only taking us back to zero. We need to get back on the horse and start thinking about what the future relationship looks like. A bit more clarity there might get more members in business on board. However, we need to see a clear change and rethink if Theresa May is going to have any chance of passing this deal through.
Do you think people in our region have been let down, really, with these pushbacks with Brexit? What do you think?
Yeah, there's a clear frustration. I mean, I think we're all a bit frustrated and maybe a bit tired of the B word.
Absolutely.
I mean, I do it for a living, so I can't get away from it. But I think there is a clear sense of frustration amongst businesses and individuals. My parents are sort of fed up about me talking about it. But this has been a clear lack of leadership, I think, from government. They've not effectively engaged with key stakeholders like the business community about what their prime concerns are around business. I think that if we're going to see some real progress towards Brexit and towards leaving the European Union, that is something that has to be remedied in the coming months and indeed maybe years, depending on how long this extension is going to last.
It's a little bit of peace of mind, isn't it? We're certainly sick of hearing about it. So it's nice to hear that, isn't it? But people have had a sort of a mixed opinion on social media as well, and we've got a few tweets. Mark Holdstock on Twitter says, people of the North East, especially Sunderland, voted for this. We need to own it. We need to do our thing, essentially. Trevor Hartland, Nigel, where art thou? Obviously referencing there the Leaving March, which he wasn't there for the full thing. £50 worth, not as much as I'd hoped for.
I think I was washing my hair the day of the march.
People that did obviously pay £50 for that. He wasn't there. What do you think of that? Not at his own kind of march.
Yeah, well, I think, again, that's one of those points that I alluded to before on this frustration. There's still a clear divide on what the best way forward is for Brexit and for leaving the European Union. And I think there's been that lack of engagement, that lack of discussion around what is the best route forward and what a future global Britain looks like. We've made many promises through the 2016 referendum, both on the Remain and Leave side. I think there needs to be a period of sort of renegotiation with each other and talking with each other, a bit more dialogue about what is wanted, what do we need, and what the best way to get there as well.
Fantastic. Well, Jack, thank you so much. You've given us a peace of mind anyway, at least. That's great. Thank you so much for coming in. Earlier this month now, it was announced that the Stobart Group will now operate Durham Tees Valley Airport. The announcement was following the recent approval of a £40 million scheme to bring the airport back into public ownership. The funds came from the Tees Valley Combined Authority, £513 million to be exact, from the investment fund. The Stobart Group is synonymous at the moment with freight travel and have now been officially unveiled as the new operator of the soon-to-be international Teesside Airport.
It's been announced that the Stobart Group will be the new operator for the Durham Tees Valley Airport. The announcement comes 2 months after a £40 million deal to bring the airport back into public ownership was approved by the Tees Valley Combined Authority. Tees Valley Mayor Ben Houchin described the Stobart Group as having experience and credibility. The Stobart Group operates Carlisle Lake District Airport and London South End Airport.
Teesside's a great place to do business. There's a real vibrancy in businesses here and in the Combined Authority and with your great mayor to make a difference, to make things grow. And that, you need that atmosphere, you need that kind of bedrock of growth to make a success. And so it's that combination of the airport being a great opportunity, but in a great place that's ready to grow. Those two things coming together, I think, are very exciting.
The Durham Tees Valley Airport has struggled to attract passengers in recent years. A 10-year turnaround plan, which has been put in place, aims to increase numbers to 1.4 million by 2022 and create over 7,000 jobs.
I met Stobart more than a year ago now, and it was very evident to me very early on that they were the perfect fit as a partnership for us. They get the local area, they get local businesses, they're working already in Teesside with many local businesses, and what they've done in regional airports is just amazing. Look at Southend. I mean, they took Southend when it had fewer than 50,000 passengers a year, so a third of what Teesside Airport's doing right now, and it's now at 1.5 million passengers, and it will be at 2 million passengers in 2020. There's no reason we can't do that here, and I think with Stobart we've got our best shot.
It's also been announced that the planning application for 350 homes surrounding the airport terminal had been withdrawn. Now people in the region will be patiently awaiting new holiday destinations.
Well, people are wondering where flights are going to be going to and when they're going to be going as well. People on Facebook want to know where do they get to go on their summer holidays. Well,
Tees Valley Mayor Ben Hoytjen has said during the announcement that the truth is we're not going to get flights to Alicante next week, not even next month or perhaps even this year. However, it is something that will happen in good time. For now, the plan is to focus on the 10-year turnaround plan for the airport.
There you go, reminds me I need to book my summer holidays. Still to come, proud of her plastics, we meet the Northeast artist Diane Watson, who's not only making art but saving our coastline in the process. There she is with her plastics.
Well, we'll see you shortly, don't go away.